Okay, so here we are at Not an Artist, Not a Problem. Create awesome video visuals with text. I'd like to introduce myself. I'm Ellen Foust. I'm a senior learning designer in the Learning Design Services group. What many of you don't know, which I don't usually announce, but is relevant for this presentation, is that I'm also a visual artist. I've been a photographer since I'm 8 years old, developing pictures in the darkroom with my father, and he gave me my first camera when I was preteen. So I've been a visual artist for a very long time, and on and off, I've actually made money doing it. Okay, so let's set the expectations for what we're going to be doing today. This is an introduction. This is a high-level overview of generative AI text-to-image features. And they fall basically into two categories. You can modify existing images or create new images from text. Some of this you're going to say, oh, I know about this. This isn't new. Well, we'll see what here that we're doing is new and what isn't. And it's all new for me too. So we're all in this together. We're all learning this together. And 6 months ago, I really didn't know anything about it. So I'm learning as I do as well, along with you. So I'm going to show you demos of the top text-to-image software. You're going to look at Adobe Firefly technology inside the Photoshop beta, the DALL-E technology, and Midjourney is one of the big names in text-to-image AI. We're not looking at Midjourney. It's a very complicated software, but we'll look at an alternative to Midjourney, and I found it by typing Midjourney alternative, so that's how I'm presenting it to you. And then we're going to look at the Midjourney and another big name in this field, Stable Diffusion technology, in a mobile app. So I will be sharing my iPhone, hopefully without technical difficulties. The context, I told you I was a photographer. I'm also actually trained as an art historian. That was my first career. I taught art history. So I'm looking at this and I'm presenting it to you in the context of creating 2D images. How do we create two-dimensional images? Do we do that with a paintbrush on wood, with the medium being egg yolks with pigment in it? Or do we use dyes on pottery? Brushes on canvas is the obvious, watercolor paints with a brush on watercolor, or in the early days of photography, a light-sensitive piece of glass capturing an image through a lens to digital technology. But it's all about how are we creating a 2D image? And what's really revolutionary, and the main point I want you to take away, is that now you can talk an image into being. You can you can type it. Or typing to me is talking because it's words. So you can think of an image and it can appear if you know how to do it properly. What we're not going to be doing today is talking about how this technology works, because quite frankly, I don't know. I have a friend who's a software engineer, and I begged him last week, please tell me how to do this in English. And in the middle of, like after 10 minutes, he said, are you following me? Do you get what I'm saying? And I said, absolutely, I do not. So it's extremely complicated. It's artificial intelligence, neural networks, all kinds of words that I can't even pronounce. So that's off the table. And I'm saying this to you because we don't want to dilute ourselves with questions that I couldn't possibly answer. And we're also not going to be talking about pedagogy. This week, the Learning Design Services is putting on a series of 4 different AI workshops. And this is our introduction and our first time through. And then in the fall, we're showing you some technology. And in the fall, we're going to start figuring out how to apply it and how to use it. Some of you are staff, some of you are students, some of you are faculty members. So then the question is begged, okay, so what do I do with this besides having fun? That's not the topic today either. Just for the record, the 2 images on this slide were generated by AI. It took less than a minute. On the one on the right, I just said lake with fall foliage, blonde female kayaker reflections at sunset. and it gave me an acceptable image, a believable image. It could be a photograph, actually. The one on the lower right, mountains with snow, red brick house with a chimney, smoking. There's no smoke coming out of the chimney, so it didn't quite get what I asked it. It's not blizzard conditions, but it is the winter. So this was done in half a second. So the title here is Not an Artist, Not a Problem. Didn't have to have any skills except my imagination in order to create these images. Okay, moving on. So, I didn't introduce my two, who are my assistants here? Jean Schwab, Rizarta Gimi, and Linda Stadletsky are here with me. They're going to be helping out with technical problems. If anybody has a question to put in the chat, they'll be reading the chat. And Linda right now is going to get us started with a poll. And the poll is kind of to set the scene so that we know who you are and what your experience with AI is. And this will help us not only for today, it'll help me on the fly for today, but it'll also help us going forward so that we can bring you more programs on these topics. So the poll is up, but Linda, can you also still see the two images, the two images? Did the poll pop up in front of it?
I moved it to the right, so I'm hoping it's moved to the right for everybody else.
Okay, well, I just wanted people to actually look at those two images because one is done with an AI and one is done with a camera.
It's on the poll too.
Okay. All right,
they're
so
on the
I'm going
poll.
to give you a couple of minutes. We have 40 people here, so we'll give you enough time for everybody to answer if you feel so moved.
Ellen, just let me know when you want me to end the poll.
Yep. I have 12:14 right now. How about we end the poll? I don't know, my 12 turns to 12:15. Are we able to see? We have 29 out of 30. We have 80% response. Let's see if it's climbing.
Oh, I ended the poll. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay.
I thought you said end it.
Oh,
sorry.
Okay. All right. We roll with the flow. So the poll is ended, and now you want to share the answers?
I did.
Oh, okay. That's
So
why I'm seeing
97% say no to have they ever used text to image AI.
That surprises me. I thought more people would have used it. So good that I'm beginning at the beginning. So most of you have never used it. Let's see. How do we see if they've used it, what they've used it for? Whoops. Oh, what have I done?
It says view details here. So I'm just seeing if I could view the details.
Did I share my screen in a way?
Oh, no, it's not letting me view the details. Sorry about that.
I'm going to just say stop sharing. I don't know what to do. I'm a little stuck on the poll. Is my screen being shared?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So I guess we can go forward this way. So only 3% of you have used it. And let's see. Most of the people guessed that this one, the number 3, this top one was AI generated. Let's see, 89% guessed that was the AI gen. You're right, that's the AI generated one. Okay, so you were still able to tell, most of you, which one was generated by the AI. So my response to that is, it's as bad. The AI for people who are the naysayers, the response is it's today it's as bad as it will ever get. Meaning tomorrow it'll be even better and even better. It's very much in its infancy, and it'd be interesting to redo this in a year and see or to redo it with an image that was done by someone more skilled than I. Actually, I didn't create this image; I found it, but by a very skilled person to see next year if you'd be able to tell the difference. Because the technology is changing very, very quickly. Okay, so let's see. Any questions now? I can't see the chat, so I'm relying on Linda right now to tell me if there are any questions. If you have a question, you want to put it in. I'm running right on schedule, so we could take a break. None? Keep going? Okay, so I am now moving back to my PowerPoint slides. Okay, we did the poll. Okay, so what are we talking about here? What is AI? I'm going to tell you first what's not new. It's not new that you can create, whoops, wait a minute. Yeah, that you can create images with digital technology. That's kind of a no-brainer. We all know that. We all know about digital cameras. We all know that you might not all know, but it is a fact that the iPhone is the best-selling camera ever and in history, and that somewhere by 2010, I believe the sale of iPhone cameras went way up, and the sale of bigger cameras went way down, so that digital DSLRs are basically the dead technology. So we have mirrorless cameras and we have phone cameras, but phone cameras have really taken over. So we could make digital images before, and we also had programs that had digital analogies to paintbrushes and pencils and other tools that visual artists would use to put an image on a flat surface. So here I show you an image of a program called Procreate on the right. And you know what? I can't see the bottom of my slide. Oh, yeah. I'm showing you an image on the left that was created with the program that I show you on the bottom right, which is a software app that many, many people, including my son, have on their iPads. So digital image creation is not new, nor is modifying or editing an image digitally. We all know about airbrushing and the fashion industry and models, and everybody's looking perfect. So this is the icon for Photoshop. Photographers among you, if there are any, will know about Lightroom. And Snapseed is a very powerful digital editing program that I use a lot on my iPhone when I take iPhone pictures. So modifying images with digital technology isn't what's new, but what is new is creating images, not just digitally or modifying them digitally, but doing it with speech. And that really, really, I'm going to say it 100 times if I say it once. That's the amazing thing here. I think it's as revolutionary as the invention of the wheel or fire. I mean, this is huge. I know Rez is laughing at me. I'm exaggerating probably, but this is a game changer. Complete game changer. This woman with the pink hair does not exist. This is not a model sitting in front of a white seamless background and somebody came along with a camera and took her picture. Somebody typed young woman with shoulder length, pink hair, brown eyes, head and shoulder, looking forward with pink lipstick and very white skin, and there she came. So this is talking and an image appears. I think it's magic. So generated me, I have a quote from David, I can't pronounce his last name. I heard it on a video yesterday, president of Adobe Digital Media Business. Generative AI allows you to describe what you want in your own words. So you're just talking, you're describing in natural language, and the computer will effectively visualize and generate content to match those words. The skill, so like as an art historian, we talk about what is the history of creating two-dimensional images. So the skill was applying paint on the brush or mixing the paint or understanding the colors. Here, going forward with this technology, the actual skill is generating text prompts so that the software can understand what you want and can realize the vision that you have in your head. There's a name for this new skill, and it's called prompt engineering. So I can manage a day in the future, or not so future, when art students are learning how to talk to the computer as opposed to how to apply paint on the brush or how to set the shutter speed on a camera. The big players, as I mentioned before, Adobe has a technology called Firefly, and it's in the Photoshop beta. DALL-E 2, Midjourney, Stable Diffusion, and then Imagine, I don't know how to pronounce it, by Google. Oops. Okay, so just to transition us, whoops. I'm moving things around because my Zoom interface is in my way. Lose the camera, lose the digital tools, lose the paintbrushes, and start talking is basically what we're going to do here. So let's do it. Oops. Okay, so the way this is going to work and the way I prepared this, and like I said, this is the first time I've done this, so I think it works smoothly, but we'll see, is I'm going to show you in slides what I'm going to do. And then I'm going to move into different software applications and actually do it. Now, I'm kind of taking a big risk here because when you generate images with text, you can never do the same thing twice. So if I said beard and Red Sox cap, when I have a picture of the Mona Lisa here, I may not get, I know for sure I won't get the same image again. So these slides are just kind of an approximate preview of what you're going to see. So I'm going to show you, I think, six different examples of how to use the Adobe Firefly technology. So here we have modifying an existing image, like nothing that this AI at this point, short of creating an image out of absolutely nothing. We could easily in Photoshop last year add a baseball cap and a beard onto the Mona Lisa, but I would need to find a baseball cap and I would need to find the beard, and I added she has a wedding ring on now too. This could take hours to do. This was done in, within minutes. So we're going to add a beard, add a Red Sox cap and wedding ring onto our friend Mona. Then we're going to take the picture that I took with my iPhone a few days ago on my walk around my neighborhood and add a sky. Now, some of you, I don't know exactly who you all are, but some of you may be familiar with sky replacements. This is not a sky replacement in which you have to have a sky that you took with a camera or created in some kind of way, and then layer it into an image. This is the generation out of nothing of a sky with cumulus clouds in it. I also added a bee. If you look over here on the right-hand image, there's a bee there. I removed a flower when I expanded it just for the sake of doing it. And what else did I do? And I widened it on the left. The picture on the right, which is the after picture, is if you look at the flower pattern, the original picture ended here, you would have no clue that this was expanded. So this has a lot of applications. If you have an image that you need to be a certain size or show a certain something and you missed it when a photograph was made, you could actually, in minutes, once you know how, change your photograph to a horizontal to a vertical to a horizontal. Here, I took a picture of the Eiffel Tower that I found on the internet. I removed the people in the foreground so that I had just an Eiffel Tower. And then I put back yellow umbrellas. And here, this is, to me, is amazing. It's like jaw-dropping to me. This is the original picture on the left. The software finished her dress. It looks like an actual bridal gown. This is created out of nothing through my telling it. No, actually, I don't think I told it to do that. And then it expanded the scene that she's in. And then I changed the background on a picture of my husband and me. And this is like, came out of nowhere. I started with just a blank and I told it I said lake, sunset, fall foliage, kayak with blonde woman, and it created this image. Just like that. It just generated this image out of nowhere. There is no camera that ever saw this image. This woman doesn't exist. This kayak doesn't exist. This is a fictitious lake. This whole thing is bogus. So, I mean, after today's workshop, hopefully you'll never look at another picture, a picture in the same way again. You really can't believe anything. Yes, we've had Photoshop and airbrushing before, but this is at a whole nother level, in my opinion. Okay, so let's move to Photoshop. And I'm looking at my time. I'm starting to lag a little bit behind. So I planned this with too much content, and I'm going to keep my eye on the time. What was that? I may skip something. Is somebody's mic on? Or someone have a question? I heard something. We're all good?
I muted them. It's okay.
Okay. So now I'm gonna, oops, where'd that come from? So you're seeing my Photoshop. And I have notes about what I did here. So, okay, so I'm in Photoshop. I will confess, I really don't know very well how to use Photoshop. I learned enough Photoshop in order to be able to learn about this technology. I use Lightroom more for my own photographs. So what I'm going to do is, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add, how about I add a beard to her? So I'm going to select the area where I want this beard to be, which is about right here. And then up pops a context sensitive dialogue. And I'm going to type beard. Let's see what happens. And then generate. So just, I'm going to be saying this less as we go on, but I do not have another image of a beard that I'm pasting together onto the Mona Lisa. The software is creating somehow this beard. So I click generate. Now what happens here is it takes about 15 seconds because it's not happening on my own computer. My computer is talking to the Adobe servers where the information and where the processing is happening. And let's see what we got. So I have to move you guys out of the way if you see my mouse moving. So whenever I do this, I get 3 options. Like I said, the picture that I showed you of the Mona Lisa had a different beard because I can never get that one again. The software is creating it. So I could choose that or that. Let's see, did that change her hair? No. That's just a little thing in the middle. Let's see, what do we have here? No, that's nothing. That did nothing. So let's say I don't like any of these beards. I'm gonna do it again. Let's be a little more specific. I told you that prompt engineering is the main key to this skill, and I'm not claiming to be the greatest at it. So we'll say full brown beard. And I'm gonna redraw my spot. There we go. No, I guess I have to type it again. Okay. Full brown beard. Generate. Look, Mom, no hands. Photographers are very threatened by this. Ah, there we go. This is a little better. So I have multiple choices here. Once again, 3 choices. Which one should we keep? Well, it doesn't matter. So let's go with this one. Okay. So now she has a beard, and I'll add the baseball cap, and we'll call it quits on this one. So in order to add the baseball cap, once again, it's the same procedure. Let's try right here for where the baseball cap's going to be. And we'll give it a red Sox hat. Let's see how it does. Once again, it's talking to the server through the internet. That's where you put the music. Do, 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 do. Okay. Well,
Ellen,
the baseball cap.
Ellen,
Yep. Linda.
there are questions about how they can get access to Photoshop
Okay, so
through the Creative Cloud.
that's interesting. I actually had it up on my browser and I took it down. Google yourselves when you're ready. So you can get for $15, the university will provide you with a 1-year license to the full Adobe Creative Cloud, which has, I don't know, 15 programs in it, including Photoshop. In order to, in fact, I think I'll divert myself for a minute. In order to download this, once you get your Creative Cloud subscription, it's not, these features are not actually in Photoshop right now. The current version of Photoshop doesn't have these. These features that I'm showing you are in the Adobe beta, the Photoshop beta version. And so when you log into your Creative Cloud suite, so I don't have if anybody, maybe Jean or somebody can find the website and put it in the chat.
We
for me.
did.
Okay,
We
great.
did. And,
Great.
and also gave them the email software@umb.edu.
Super. Okay, because for $15 you can get this. But what you need to know, which I didn't know, which took me a while to figure out, is that it's not in Photoshop, it's in the beta apps. So what you need to do when you get your Creative Cloud account, click beta apps, and it's the Photoshop beta. So I already have this on my computer, so I'm being asked to open it. You would be asked to install it. Does that answer the question? Yep, I'm assuming the answer is yes. So I'm going to try again. Red Sox baseball cap. Okay, let's go with that. Because this clearly isn't it. I've seen courses on prompt engineering, and if there's an interest, we can, well, it's not doing a great job. I'm not going to get stuck here, but you get the idea. Sometimes it takes multiple attempts to do it, and then sometimes it gives you what you want, but it's not really perfectly aligned, so you need to do a little modification. So we're a little closer. The one I showed you that I was able to achieve last night took about 9 tries, and it was a perfect Red Sox baseball cap. I was shocked that it knew that. Okay, any other questions about the technology, about what I'm doing? I can't see the chat window, so I'm relying on you. All right, so let's move on to something else. So here's an iPhone.
Wait, a quick
okay.
question, Ellen. Can we do this on a mobile phone?
You know, I don't know. I would say it would be too complicated. I don't know. I don't know about the Photoshop. You can do Photoshop on a mobile phone, that I know. But whether you can get the beta version now on the mobile phone, I don't know.
Another question, Ellen, was do students have access to Adobe? And I think I could answer that. I believe that there is a graphic design lab, isn't there, in the library?
I think students cannot get the $15 license. There is for students who want Adobe. I don't know the price, but go online to adobe.com. There's a special photography license that you could buy that it's certainly not $15 for the year, but it may be under 100. Catherine is here. Catherine, do you know about that?
No, I don't know about that.
Okay,
Sorry.
thank you. Thank you. Any other question? I'm falling a little bit behind on my time, so I'm gonna move forward, skipping something. So if you're expecting me to see something based on what I showed you, I might be skipping it. Okay, so I'm going to make this picture wider. I need a horizontal picture for a magazine I'm producing. And so I need to make this wider. So I picked the crop tool. Whoops. Oh, what's the problem here? Height, width, resolution, original ratio. Okay, so whoops. Let's just bring this back like this. Move this here. So I want to expand this on the left. So I've got the crop tool in Photoshop. This is not a Photoshop lesson. Whoops, and clearly I'm having a problem here, and I'm going to do it right with resolution. Where is the free crop ratio? Well, whatever. Okay, let's just keep moving. So I want to make this a horizontal picture. And let's say I want it to be like this. Okay, so once I've expanded the size of the image, I have to select the image. I select the part where I want to fill it in. And I'm going to select it a little bit bigger. See how I'm overlapping my selection? And then I'm going to type nothing. I'm going to let the software figure out what I want it to do. And so I'm just going to click generate with no text prompt this time. I'm not telling it add more flowers or do this or that. Let's see what it does. Look at that. I guess my selection wasn't 100%, so I've still got a yellow line here. But can we tell where, can you tell where the software added flowers? So if I turn off what I just did, so we're right here. If you can keep your eye right there, let's look and see what happened. I can't put my pointer in. It's basically seamless as far as I can tell. Look at that. I mean, that's phenomenal. How likely would I be able to do this with just, I mean, my Photoshop skills aren't even that good. I don't really know how to do Photoshop. Look what I just did. I have other options. There's another one. Different, but it works. And whoops. And here's another one. They're all seamless in my opinion. So let's see, I was going to remove a flower. So let's just remove a flower. So I'm going to select a flower. Let's see how it works. I'm just going to select it like that. And I'm going to do nothing. I'm just going to click generate and see if the flower disappears. So I'm not doing anything that couldn't have been done before yet, but it's all being done through my typing these prompts. Yeah, that flower is gone. Let's see. Turn it off. There it is. Well, it's not 100% gone. It died. Let's see if I have other options. Let's replace with something else. Okay. I mean, if I don't like the result, I just have to do it again and again and again until I get what I want. And let's add a blue sky. Let's do that and move on. And I'm going to just, who knows Photoshop better than I do can tell me why I'm having a problem here. Let's make it a 4x5. There we go. Let's do it this way. Okay, so let's add a blue sky. Once again, those of you Photoshop people, this is not a sky replacement. There is no sky. Oops. Let's select the sky. And then we want a blue sky with cumulus, cumulus clouds. Okay, generate. By George. Look at that. Let's get this out of the way. I could pin it somewhere, but okay. Oops. Trying to make it bigger. There it is. Look at that. I mean, that is unbelievable to me. If I turn that layer off, so it actually added a tree line. So the line between the sky and the top of this field makes sense. How did it know that? How did it know to add that? So that's a question we'll talk about very slightly, but not yet, how it knew that. And I think given the time, I will show you how I'm going to use this technology to create something brand new. So I'm going to create a new file. And I'm going to just accept all the defaults. Okay. And now I'm going to select the whole thing. There's nothing here. Zilch image. And I'm going to select it. And now you have to make a selection in order for the generative fill feature to appear. So now I'm going to tell it, well, Linda, let's field it from the group. Would people give
What
a
would you like to see?
1-sentence prompt? And let's generate one of your ideas. I'm out on thin ice here. Let's see how it goes. You got one, Linda?
Prompt in chat? No, we don't have one yet.
No brave
Anyone
soul?
have something that they'd like to see?
Okay, so we'll do what I've done before. Lake, fall foliage,
Blue sea, we have pep rally, blue sea.
pep rally, I don't think is specific enough. So the secret to this prompt engineering is very good descriptions.
So what about something with the blue sea, Ellen?
Blue sea,
Mhm.
like
The
ocean,
ocean. Mhm.
blue, ocean, coral reef.
Oh, yoga and meditation along the blue sea.
Okay, so then let's get specific. Let's be specific. Young,
Two people.
two people doing yoga on a beach. What more? Anybody?
In front of the ocean? In front of the blue ocean?
Yeah, how would I say that? I'm not sure. We're learning together. In front of a
Blue
blue
ocean.
ocean with a jet plane
Oh, now we're getting really
in the
specific.
sky and six other people.
Oh, Ellen, come on now.
Okay, we'll get rid of
Keep
that.
it basic.
Okay. Keep it simple. Okay.
Ah.
Okay, let's see what
There,
happens.
let's see what it is.
Let's just see what happens. Like I said, this is being recorded and I'm taking we'll see.
Yeah.
Mhm. Well,
Oh, wow. That's interesting.
two people doing yoga on blue ocean. Well, I mean, literally it did get it, but okay, so this actually has revealed some of the issues that I have seen in this software that other people have noted too, because it's in such early stages. The faces are messed up. I mean, they really didn't come out right. However, these two women are in fact clothed properly and they are in yoga positions. They're in the same yoga position. Let's see what else we got. It didn't do very well with the faces. It often does poorly with the hands. And when I was doing some of my kayak generation, I would have 3 paddles or a wiggly paddle.
So, Ellen, Milko asked for 6 people and a bear.
6 people and a bear.
Mhm.
That's the whole thing. 6 people
Yeah.
and a bear. Okay.
Is it,
Here we
Milko, is
go,
this in front
Milko.
of the ocean?
6 people and 1 bear, 1 white, 1 brown bear lying
in the
on the
woods.
beach, sunny day. Okay. Let's see what we got for you, Milko. And like I said, it's as bad as it will ever get. Tomorrow it will be better. I can't quite accept the faces.
Oh, so you have 4 bears and
I have 4 bears and
2
2
people.
people. Okay, that's not good. Now I have
Oh, no.
3 people. Interesting.
Oh, these
2
bears look weird.
and 3 people. So it hasn't done the best. And so there's 2 reasons. One is that maybe it's probable that our prompts are not precise and descriptive enough, but also the software, this is a beta release, guys, remember? This is just a beta software. So I think for a beta, it's doing pretty good. It gives me the opportunity here, since it's a beta, it's asking for feedback. So I could this would be talking to the server. I could tell the server, thumbs down. Thank you for your feedback to help improve our products. So, okay, so let's move on. I had a bunch of other things planned, and let me decide what to do based on the time that I see.
Yeah, you have 13 minutes.
We have 13 minutes, so I could show you, I'm going to show you a program called DALL-E, which is in the browser. You don't have to get a license. You don't have to do anything. Anybody can go to bing.com, the search engine, the Microsoft search engine, and see this. And we'll see how far we get with that. And then we could call it a day there. I will be doing more of these webinars. I've learned a lot doing this today. We could call it quits there, or there may be time to do the AI app on the phone. I didn't plan that in as the first activity because I thought there would be how many people are here? 38. There were over 100 registered, so I didn't think it would be too practical to have 100 people downloading apps onto their phones. So I think that will be reserved for a smaller workshop. So
And
let's see.
Ellen,
Yep.
you did have a request for DALL-E as well, so.
Oh, good. Okay, so
someone
let's
is
look at
interested in
DALL-E. So DALL-E is the sister of ChatGPT. Wait a minute, let me go back to my PowerPoint. Let's see what we have. Oh, so I have some resource. This PowerPoint will be posted. And so there are resources here. UMass Boston offers the Adobe Creative Cloud, et cetera. Okay, so DALL-E, we're going to create a new image from scratch. This is the sister of ChatGPT. It's created by the company OpenAI, a startup backed by Microsoft. And this same technology is also in the Microsoft Edge browser. So let's switch my screen share to Chrome, and I have it preset up for us. So we're at bing.com. This is all you have to do. Go to bing.com. If you click chat, you've got the Chat GPT software. Let me go back because I don't want that. Jean on Wednesday, we'll be doing a program on Chat GPT. But what I want to show you before I actually use the software. Here is images. So images is a regular search feature. So I searched for the name Ellen once, and I can't get rid of that search as my default search. So let's do the prompt that I've been using to prepare for this workshop. Let's see, lake, fall, here it is, I remembered it. So I could do this, and this now has searched the web. So these are actual, mostly photographs, I would imagine. These are, I mean, they're all real images, but these are images of people that actually exist on a real lake that's somewhere on the planet that a photographer somehow, not somehow, but as a photographer, most likely these are camera captures. But this is not what we're about to do. So let's go back to bing.com, and you will click Image Creator. Okay. So let's use my prompt that I've been using. Lake. Blonde woman, fall foliage, paddling, kayak. What have I forgotten? Lake sunset. Sunset is the time. So I'm not searching for an image that exists. I'm creating by clicking the create button. And some server somewhere in the world is processing this. Recent searches that I've done, recent creations that I've done before are here on the right. Let's see how I did. So is this a believable image?
Ellen, can you specify that you want that as a photo as opposed to a drawing?
That's a good
Vice
question.
versa?
No, I like that question because there's another program or the app that I was going to show you. Well, I don't have time, but
But I
there's an
think-
app on the iPhone where I could tell it the style I wanted. Is
I
that what you're?
think you should be able to do that with DALL-E, though.
Well, let's see. Let's go back. Well, let's look at the other choices. I think this is believable. I think this looks like a photograph.
Well, then try doing it as a drawing.
Okay. So where is that?
Just put it into the sentence, drawing
Sure.
of.
Okay.
Or
like,
pastel drawing or something
Yeah,
like
something
that.
like
Okay.
that.
Pastel drawing. It's processing. And I haven't paid for a pro membership to this.
No, this was, yes. This,
Oh, so this
Yeah,
is,
so you're right.
yeah,
So that you're right.
the question, Jean Gallagher raised the question earlier about not wanting to pay $20 a month for DALL-E, which
mhm.
it's questionable exactly what it costs, but if you want to use Bing Image Creator, it doesn't cost you anything.
Right.
It looks like it does keep track of points though, doesn't it?
I'm not exactly sure.
I don't know
how
if it
works.
does or not, but it doesn't cost anything to use Microsoft.
And it doesn't cost anything to use this program. Let's move from DALL-E. Any other questions about DALL-E? There's one here called Imagine Art, AI Art Generation, which I said before that Midjourney was one of the big players. This is the Midjourney, what was I calling it? Midjourney, I don't know. Pseudo Midjourney. In this one, you get to choose the aspect ratio of the image. Now, with a little hat on, it means that I would need the pro membership in order to do that. But these are standard aspect ratios. Anybody in the visual arts would recognize it. 1:1 was Instagram, 4:3. Aspect ratio is height to width. A ratio 4:3 is the size and is the shape of a smartphone image. 3:2 is the shape of an image that comes out of a bigger camera. 16:9 is a YouTube or a cinematic, like you go to a movie theater ratio of height to width. Then, so I get to pick that, but I don't because I don't have the paid version. Then I get to pick which database, or well, it's called a language model, even though we're not talking technology, which technology it's using. So it's got a bunch of different technologies in here. So I don't know, why don't I pick Disney? Oh, I can't. I need to upgrade. Whoops. So let's take, I'm aware that we have 6 minutes left. I'll do anime. I'm not going to do I can't do high resolution because I haven't paid. A negative prompt in this software is telling it what you don't want in the picture. So I don't have anything that I don't want in the picture. The CFG scale is it's a scale of the higher the resolution, the better the quality, the picture, the slower it takes to generate it. So I just am accepting all these defaults. I forget what step scale is, it tells you. Oh, this one is about the output quality, and this one is, well, it doesn't matter. Let's not go there right now. So now we have to tell it the prompt, and we'll do, let's see, lake, sunset, fall, foliage, kayak, woman, blonde. I don't know. I just want to see if they could get the hair color. Okay, so let's see. Processing stopped. What have I done wrong, guys? Processing stopped. Okay.
It looks like it's processing at the
Now
bottom.
it's, yeah, I did it again, Linda. Thank you. Okay. So this is a blonde woman paddling a kayak in a lake at sunset in the fall, in an anime style, generated in less than a minute out of nothing. I spoke and disappeared. I mean, to me, like I can't stop being overwhelmingly amazed. Okay, so we have 4 minutes left, and to respect everybody's time, I am going to head back to my PowerPoint. So we saw DALL-E. You saw that in action. I have some DALL-E resources for you. We just looked at the image, imagine.art Midjourney alternative is what I meant to say before. We did not look at the iPhone. In the slides, which when we post, you can find, I had more about the Midjourney, this app the app on the phone that you didn't see. Midjourney resources for you. Free Midjourney alternatives. Mobile text to image generation apps, just got you started. And we arrive at the end with our friend wearing a mustache and a hat with a blue feather.